Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Spooky Japan Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Jonathan from JK-47 Paranormal. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Or I
We're
should say
doing
good morning.
yeah, we're doing pretty good over here. You had a couple of clips that we're going to go ahead and show.
Yeah, yeah, whatever you want to do.
And also check out his other channels on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search JK-47 Paranormal.
That'd be me.
Gone off. Hey, Kathy, can you set off those other cat balls for me again? Said she's trying. Oh, there it goes. One on the ground and the one up in the closet. This is good stuff. Yes, thank you, Kathy. That was remarkable.
Yeah, so that was when I was doing home cases, and it was one of my more favorite cases, I guess. It was in Wichita Falls, Texas, and that's how I started JK-47. I was just helping people with problems at their house and stuff, and young girl, she reached out to me. She's 16, and a month before I got there, her mom was murdered in the house right in front of her, and she was telling me about some stuff that happened and what she was experiencing, and I went out there, and this was on the second night that I was there, and the whole family sitting behind me, and I was actually live on Facebook when this was all happening, and her mom was very very powerful to come through the way that she did, and on the last night, I just left my spirit box running, and each of them came in and said their goodbyes and stuff, and it's one of my most heartwarming cases that I did. But I haven't done home investigations in a while, so.
You know what? There's a guy that I picked up too. His name was James. He said I killed her. He's dead now.
Yeah, the boyfriend of the mom was the one that killed her. The police caught him right away. So
yeah, but he's dead now.
Oh,
or his essence is dead. One or the other. And he said I killed her. I'm sorry. He said.
Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah. Either he's dead or his essence is dead. One of the two. But he came through to me. He says, "Yeah, I killed her. I'm sorry. I'm dead now." He said.
Yeah.
That's really weird. But you see, sometimes they'll come through if they did the deed or things like that.
Yeah, sometimes. And that's what I specialize now in. I work cold cases. The more popular cold cases with my spirit box, and try to figure out what's happening. And I do all my sessions live on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So
interesting. Wait, hold on. Yeah, cold cases are really hard to do. I do them too.
Yeah, it's just your intention, I believe. If you go in with the right intent and the spirit knows it, then they're going to be more talkative with you.
Yeah. But I do both. I do the killer and I do the victim also at the same time. The thing is, for me, I can stand there. I can see what's going on right in front of my eyes, but you can't help them, right?
Yeah.
That's a hard part about. And the other part is that you could see the murder happening right in front of your eyes, and you're going. But you have to keep a really straight face when you do it, because it's so difficult. It's just, it's something you can't imagine to experience if you and you don't want to sometimes.
Yeah, and like the next clip there, this is the cold case of the Jameson family on October 8th. There's something there, guys. I gotta review that. Jameson family. Your bodies were found about 3 miles away from your truck. Can you tell me how you died? How did you die? I think I heard they shot us. Did they shoot you with their gun, Carolyn? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Jameson family cold case. It's in Oklahoma. The family went to look at property August 8th or October 8th, 2009, and they disappeared. And they found their truck a week later, and the family dog was still in the truck, and there was $32,000 under the seat, and they ended up finding their bodies 3 miles away from the vehicle 2 years later, all their bones and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to work on that one right now. So
I could
So
help
what
you.
started your journey into the paranormal?
oh jeez. I'd say my very first paranormal experience that I could not explain and scared me to death was when I was 18. I was at a dance club with my friend, and we had met these girls, and they said, "Have you ever heard of the Riverdale Runner?" And we're like, "No, what's that?" And they took us to this road, and we pulled into this parking lot and got out of the car, and you go to the northwest corner of this parking lot. Like, go stand in that corner and don't move. And I stood in the corner and I didn't move. All of a sudden I started getting real cold, and I heard feet like in the gravel going right past me. And then once it passed me, it just started over again. It just went and I'm looking at them and they're not moving, and I'm like, what the heck? And so I got in the car, I drove out. I'm like, if you want to leave, let's go. But that was my first paranormal experience. But ever since that happened, like I always wondered, okay, so now I know there's something out there,
Yeah.
And then I served in the military. I was in Iraq in 2003, and had experiences over there. And when I got home, started doing research, watching shows and stuff. And then finally in 2020, I got 100% disability, so I can't work. So I'm able to investigate and research as much as I can. So, and ever since then, I've seen all sorts of stuff, experienced pretty much everything. So,
Does anything scare you now, or is it just one of those, I'm so used to it that...
not really. I get surprised, but when something surprises me, I get more excited than scared. Like, I'm like, oh, I hope I got something. I got that. I just get excited, because it's like that shouldn't happen. Like one time I was doing my podcast here, and I have this little beer cozy thing here, and I'm sitting there talking and doing my show, and it went flying across my desk. I was like, while I was live, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't scared. I was just like, what the heck? In fact, this morning I was meditating and stuff, and I was getting out of the shower, and uh, I said, Spirit, are you with me right now? And my Alexa flew out of the plug, like it went flying across on the ground. I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay. I was like, what's your message? What do you want today?
That would be something to see, definitely.
Well, I was drying off, and all of a sudden it just goes flunk. I was like, what the heck? I mean, there's no vibration, nothing that could have made it pop out of the socket the way it did. So I was like, all right, you're getting stronger. All right.
So some people has been experiencing paranormal things with Alexa, so I'm not really surprised when things happen with Alexa.
Well, that's what I use frequency meditation, and my music plays through there, while I'm meditating and stuff. And I couldn't explain it. Like I felt something was wrong in the air, and it just went flying. So
they can be attached to music too.
Yeah. Maybe it didn't like the song.
That's one thing I like to do in investigation, is try and play some music from that time they're supposed to be from.
Yeah, like I said, when you're investigating and stuff, it's all on your intentions. As long as you're there with good intentions and don't want to, turn them into some sideshow circus, I think they respect that more. If you try to help spirit, they need help passing on, or they need help getting their voice heard. I think you get better responses, better experience by going in with that intent. So
I wonder.
What's been your favorite place to investigate?
Oh boy, my favorite was the old Montana State Prison. There was only two of us, so we had the whole prison to ourselves, and that was pretty intense. That was like the first major location that I investigated, and there was only two of us there. So yeah, that was a fun night.
Montana's on a different level when it comes to the paranormal. I lived in Billings for a few years, so
Okay.
there's a lot of urban legends there too. There's a lot of places that because there's an Indian reservation nearby, and the ones that are still true to the culture will say, we don't go in this area because there's evil. They won't say what the evil is. A lot of people assume because Native American it must be skinwalkers. I don't think it's skinwalkers, since Montana's not really known for them. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I've seen a lot of other things that could possibly be like an entity or something else out there.
Yeah, like as far as like demons and like skinwalkers and stuff, I believe like when we pass, what our energy was as we were living is what our energy continues to be when we pass. So, if you're a jerk in life, and pissed off at the world, you're going to be a jerk in death. And once you figure out that you can manipulate these things and scare people, you're going to do that because that's what you did in life. You mess with people and stuff. So
there's urban legends of some of them where they play pranks on people, and it's like, why not? They know they can. What are you going to do about it?
Exactly. But whether or not I know that if they feed off our energy, I don't know. I mean, every time I do a session, I do feel drained. After I do the sessions, and I think they do need that energy, from us, that fear or that being scared. I don't know if it fuels them, but I mean, you're talking at a quantum level that they're at, and we're here in the physical form, so
some that will feed off your energy, some that will drain you. It's going through that method of how you're investigating. It's more like using your energy to talk to them does take a lot of energy away from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not necessarily they'll feed off of your energy. If you're talking to something that is not right or is not that good, they will turn around and they will take the energy from you. And especially negative ones, they just love your energy, and they just love the way that you fear them, or if you have any animosities, they'll go after that too.
Right, exactly. Or any self-doubt, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
depression,
Mm-hmm.
which I suffered from with PTSD and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and ever since I found out about my spirit guides and stuff, like all that's gone, because
Mm-hmm.
I believe in my spirit guides, and they're always
Mm-hmm.
showing me signs, and
Yeah,
they always tell me there's nothing to be afraid of. Just don't
yeah,
give them that satisfaction.
yeah. And your spirit guides will never feed off you. Will never take energy from you. Sometimes they'll help you with your energy if you need it. If you
Yeah.
need that extra oomph, they'll come and they'll help you with that, and they'll protect you from whatever else that elements that they don't agree with. They'll do
Mm-hmm.
that too. Yeah,
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
I think it's really weird because when I go to a place, they know I'm there, but then they're scared of me because they think I'm gonna get remove them from the area. Some I will, some I won't. It depends. If I'm doing a
Yeah,
resident, I will. If I'm
I
doing
always
resident, yeah,
I always ask them, do you need help moving on? And I
yeah,
would say 90% of the time they're like, yeah, I feel
mm-hmm,
kind of stuck here,
yeah,
so, and that's what I do.
yeah. If they're really nasty ones, they'll say, "No, you can't get rid of me." I said, "Oh, yes, I can. You want to see?
Yeah.
Don't
Have you met
test
my
me.
spirit guides? They can help.
Don't test me."
Yeah, exactly.
And I get tested a lot. But I'm saying, yeah, you're not gonna test me because it's not gonna work because I'm gonna get you anytime, So they're usually scared of whatever I can do. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and if I
Yeah,
get kicked
I've
out,
been called all sorts of names through my spirit box. I've been called a-hole.
yeah,
They tell me to F off, and I'm like,
yeah,
well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not afraid of you.
yeah, I get that too. Except I can hear them, and and they tell
Yeah.
me to blank off, or they'll tell me to, like, you can't touch me. I go, you want to make a bet? And they go,
I want to bet, yeah.
and it becomes almost like a game to them. You know that?
Yeah. They want to see how far you can go, and until they actually, understand that you can do it, they're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay.
I always assume that must be the only form of entertainment they have. How
Yeah.
much they can mess with paranormal investigator.
Yeah. Or even just normal people living in the house. Oh, let's see
Yeah.
how much we
Yeah.
can mess with these people.
I think they will try to mess with you. Certain ones will, and certain ones won't. It just depends on the situation and where it is and what happened to them, depending on how they react.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just like it's almost like a game to some of them. You know that, and
Mm-hmm.
like they're testing you and see how far they can get with you, and you're like, yeah, you're not gonna try to test me because it's not gonna work. And they kind of like, I can see them looking at me, go, "You're kidding, right?" And they go, I don't kid." And they go, "And I don't play." And they go, "Yeah, okay, we'll listen." Like,
I probably would if I was a ghost just out of sheer boredom.
Oh, I got a list. When I'm dead, I got a list of people I'm haunting.
God, yeah, I got my list too.
I'd visit Irene because I know she'd be able to see me.
hmm I'll say, Amanda, what the heck are you doing here?
Just visiting. I'm bored.
Yeah, right. Why don't you just go to heaven? You know, you think nobody say, "Nah, I got stuff to do." I go, "Okay, go and do your stuff."
I love how your cat put his opinion in there.
He's my paranormal cat.
Yes, people and places. We have people and places that we have a list of. Like if I was to haunt, I'd go here. I'd see this person.
I don't know. So what I've been told from other mediums and psychics and stuff is like when you pass, you're given an option. Like you can either go towards the light and go through the process, or you can turn your back and explore the universe. That's what I've been told.
I've been told that a few times too, but unfortunately, if you turn your back, I think like that's it for you.
Yeah, but you'll need help moving back to the light if you're done walking around. I think that's why, I'm able to help spirits so much. Yeah, it's because I can help them go toward the light.
Yeah.
But I've also talked to mediums who said people refuse to go towards the light because they know where they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
just
and
like,
usually those are older souls that have done it a few times. They know it's just not worth it to turn their back, so just keep going with the process.
It's some of the times that I have spirits that don't cross over, and I do give them the choice whether they want to or not. And some of them, 90% of them will, but 10% of them won't. Especially if they were murdered, they won't. They don't know before their time. They died before their time. They don't know what to do. And
Yeah,
someone who died in illness don't know what to do either. So it depends on the situation. And if they have extra business, I usually try to help them with the business so that they can't cross over. But yeah, they'll tell you the story first, and then you have to listen to the story. Okay, I'll listen to your story. But sometimes you don't give them a choice, and you have to cross over, and that's it.
yeah,
But
no, I agree. I just let them know, hey, it's your time.
yeah,
I want you to go on your spiritual path, so let me help
journey.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, it's a difficult job. I call it a job because it is my job. Yeah, it's
I call
24.
it a way of life.
It's 24/7 job.
Yeah,
I think going out and working is easier than what I do. I think it's a harder job, to tell you the truth. Uh, you don't get to sleep much. you, you, you know, when you get hungry, you have to eat when you're hungry, and then you go, and then you just zonk out. Right? It's a harder job to do, I think. Um.
with my frequency meditation, like the more
Mhm,
I keep doing it and changing the frequencies and stuff,
mhm,
I'm starting to get more and more vivid dreams.
mhm,
Like when I close my eyes now, I can see colors and
mhm,
shapes and stuff. It's really cool.
mhm.
Like I can feel stuff happening up there. I don't know what I'm wakening up, but kind of interesting.
Wait
I wish
until
I
they
could
come.
meditate, but I don't have the patience to do it.
Yeah, that was the first thing my guides told me when I did one of my first sessions to find out what messages they said. They told me you have to learn patience, and it's taken me a long time. It's taken me 2 years to develop my patience to where I'm at now. So,
Mhm.
but it's paying off. Yeah, it really is. It's a valuable lesson to learn.
Once you get to it, you can meditate with the TV on. And
Yeah. No, any time of the day, you
yeah,
just
yeah.
sit there and you can do whatever. Yeah.
Close your eyes, and actually, the more noise, the better, because it forces you to to empty your head faster.
Yeah. Yeah. I like doing it in the bath or like hot tub. I
Yeah,
like being in water when
yeah,
I'm meditating. So
yeah. Me too. But sometimes as you get visited, they go, and I say, okay, what do you want? I'm in the tub. Okay, this is my time.
I just
Like,
close my eyes and I'm gone. I'm just listening to spirit.
well, they come to you whenever they want to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
water.
They always show up on the clock. Like I'll always see 333, 111, 444 all throughout the day. I'm like, oh, what message now do you have? And I have to go back to what I was thinking about. I was like, oh,
They go,
okay. So
whoops, you know.
yeah,
It's kind of interesting when the way that they interact with you. You know, they go, "Excuse me." I go, "Yeah." So what do you want? Like, are you just passing through? Okay, bye. And they
I've
keep
seen
on.
some pass through here, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not very polite about it. They're like, "Yeah, I'm here. What can you do about it? Bye." And it's usually they'll start making my dog bark first, and she'll run out, and I'll run out to see like a shadow person, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, I'm here. You can't do anything about it. Bye."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I just send my guides after them. I'm like, round them up, so they'll bring them back, and I'm like, okay, now we can talk.
Yeah. With being on this side of the globe, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you have to send them away. Sometimes, you know, where she is, it's you got two elements that are going on where she is. You got the atomic bomb where she
Mhm.
is, and you got the old souls that have died where she is. So sometimes you just have to send them away, or you have to ignore them, and it's a little bit different when you live on this side, because some will bug you, and some of them, you just have to turn your head and ignore them when you're on this side of the globe. More than interacting with them, you really don't want to interact with them on this side of the globe. It's really hard because some of them can mess you up on this side of the globe. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I was
If
gonna
you,
say with the radiation and what
mm-hmm,
it does at a molecular level and what it could
mm-hmm,
do with the energy is
mm-hmm,
insane because
mm-hmm,
it's putting it at the power of the sun. So I could only imagine that the spirits, that would be there would be a lot stronger because
mm-hmm.
their
Oh yeah,
feet.
they're pretty strong. That's what I tell
Yeah,
Yeah,
people is
yeah,
energy wise,
yeah.
it feels so much different than anything I've felt in the United States. I can't explain it, but
Mm-hmm,
it's just it feels so differently. It feels so much stronger. Because I mean,
mm-hmm,
I'm near too. I'm near the one in Nagasaki and also near the one in Hiroshima. So
mm-hmm.
that's
Hiroshima.
also why, in what you're saying with molecular level,
Yeah.
that's also why we have so many more cryptids in my area compared
Mm-hmm.
to like where Irene is in Tokyo.
Well,
Where
okay.
I
It's
am,
Yeah.
because the
yeah.
radiation mixed
Mm-hmm,
with either humans in the area or different animals in the area, creating what
yeah,
we see as the
yeah,
cryptids today.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and then going back to the atomic bombs and stuff, that if you look at the sightings and stuff that happened before that, I'm sure they were much less than that after,
Yeah.
because it changed everything in the atmosphere because of these atoms colliding and
Mm-hmm.
causing all this energy. So, I mean, who's to say it didn't open up some portal that is allowing these energies to come through.
Yeah. And they go after, if your leg hurts, they'll go after wherever it hurts. Unintentionally, they'll do that. I've been to Hiroshima, and I had I have bad knees, okay? And they went after my knees like you wouldn't believe it. They know that I'm watching. You could,
Hmm.
if you're on a public transportation going someplace, you could see the building where the bomb hit, and the dome, and and they're watching you, and you go like oh. And I said oh to my husband. He goes, what? He goes, do they know you're here? I go, yep. Do they see you? Yep, because they know I can see them. They pegged me, and then I had a sore knee all throughout the whole trip. And I came home, and And then I came home and I said, okay, my knee doesn't hurt anymore. What the heck happened? And then it was so bad I couldn't even walk one day. And when I was there, and I said, oh my God, they're after my knees. I said, my husband, do you need to go to the doctor? I said, doctor ain't going to help me with this one. Like,
No, yeah. No, you
and
need
then,
some salt water. Wash this
yeah,
stuff off.
yeah. And on this side, they try to unalive themselves, okay, where I live. So you get more suicide victims. You get more,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you get more painful, tragic victims here on this side. And then in this side of the globe, you don't talk to them. You just don't. You can acknowledge that you hear them, but you just don't. You just don't want to do anything with them because you don't want to find out the jealous ones. You don't want to find out the angry ones, and you don't want to find out if they're really wanting to do the same thing to you as they did to them, as what happened to
Well,
them.
isn't that that forest, the suicide forest
Mm-hmm.
in Japan?
Yeah,
It's in
no,
it's in the Mount
that's
Fuji.
yeah, that's part of it. But the other part is you got the train station where they jump in front of a moving train. They try to jump in front of a bullet train,
Yeah.
and then the people who work there are trying to pick up the pieces of the person, right? So yeah. I mean, and when you're sitting on a train and that happens to you, yeah, I had that happen to me too. I go, oh my God, what the heck happened? And they said, excuse me, this train will not move for 3 hours to go. What do you mean we have to sit for 3 hours? Yeah, the doors don't open and nothing like that. I go, oh God. Like it's just something that you don't want to imagine, you don't want to live through. But yeah, I've been through both of them and I go, right.
Yeah, I and I'm not like I can't see or hear them unless I
Mm-hmm.
have my spirit box, but I can feel them like an empath. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
feel
Yeah.
when they're around.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not scared. I'm like, okay,
No.
you're coming to me for a reason, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
need help moving on, and I can feel it. I'm like, if you do, just touch my hand, and
Yeah.
I'll feel it, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, and I'll just have my guides help them on, and
Yeah.
I mean, these
The,
were people too. Like I said,
yeah.
they
Yeah.
turned their back to the light. So
Yeah. And the commuter trains are haunted. The train stations are
yeah,
haunted.
yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah,
So
Train
yeah, it's
stations are usually too busy for you to notice, though.
yeah. But I mean, if you're sitting on a train, if you're going through kind of like, I don't know, like a meditation phase, you could see them because they'll show up on the glass windows,
the glass.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hmm
And certain times, like trains stop at 3 a.m. in the morning here. Okay, so by 2 o'clock, yeah, you're in this realm, right? So yeah, and then that's where they show up in the middle of the night, and it's just like, okay, yeah. That's when my husband said, I'm gonna stay at a hotel. And he goes, what? Because it's almost train, because the trains are almost gonna finish, so I'm gonna stay at a hotel. I go, okay, because I'm not gonna come home at night in the middle of the night because I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, I don't want
right.
to show up. No.
Especially if you've been investigating all night somewhere, and then you have to
Yeah.
deal with that going home.
Well, everyone knows, right? Because everyone knows the train. Everyone knows that certain train stations are really haunted. So yeah, it's just the most uneasy, frightening feeling that you can get
Well, I
when
think
you're
it's
in
because
this.
you're trapped in a box that
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
nowhere to go.
Or you're trapped underground or
Yeah.
above ground. It depends on where the station is. Sometimes it's underground, sometimes it's above ground. And yeah, it's the most freakiest feeling you've ever had in your whole.
No, that's why I do all my sessions down here in the basement. I'm 10 feet underground,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason I get the best responses in the basement rather than
Mm,
out upstairs or
yeah,
outside. So
yeah. Do you think?
possibly, I maybe it
Yeah.
could be because of their religious beliefs, or they have unfinished business, or
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
feel tied to a person or a thing. that was very important to him? It's hard to say.
Yeah. In this country, not where Amanda is. Amanda, there are more Christians there that are there on that side, but on this side, there are more Buddhists. So
Oh yeah,
it's
yep.
so in Buddhism, you're allowed to unlove yourself if you're not happy. Okay, if you're not, if this life isn't doing anything for you, you're allowed to live your next life. So they do believe in reincarnation. Okay, but yeah, it's just a little bit different here. Like you think,
No, I'm a firm believer in
yeah,
coming back. My guides have told me this is my 10th life, so
yeah, yeah,
and they're very happy with my progression. That I've taken this path that I'm on because now I can talk to them and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm happy with it too. So
yeah. Would you, if you had this choice of what you're doing, would you still do it or not?
I wish I started earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, I really wish I started sooner. Because there's so much drama now in the paranormal world.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everybody's trying to make their mark, and I just wish that people would understand that's not what it's about. Like, I've been doing it for since 2020, so 4 years now, and I got like 2,800 likes or follows. I don't even care about this. I just want to video log, audio log my spiritual journey, so that if my children should decide, well, how did Dad do that? I want to talk to him. They can follow it and learn.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to share my stuff, how I do things. I'll share it with anybody. I've done it many times on all my podcasts. So,
and you know what? I'm there to help other people, but then they think it's like I'll help you, but they're saying, but you're gonna interfere with what I do. I said, you could take all the credit. I don't care.
exactly. It's not about the likes and follows. It's about your connection with spirit and what you learn and how you can grow spiritually.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
And it's like, that's my investigation. I said, you can have it if you want to. I don't care. I'm not going to take it from you. Just,
I'd rather have the experience than the tape,
Yeah.
I'm here to help you, not take anything from you. If you get that, and they said, well, I mean, I'll think about it. And I go, okay, go ahead and think about it. That's all. Like,
Tony Ferguson, he investigates over in the UK and stuff. He's an most awesome guy I ever meet. His intentions, his way of thinking is exactly the way I want to be, and he could care less what
and I'm friends with him too.
Yeah,
he sometimes I can't stay awake till 3 a.m. to watch videos.
I like his videos. He's got some good stuff lately. So yeah, doing a good job. I'm glad he's showing them again. So
and then he was going to quit at one time. Remember? Did you see his post? He was going to quit because
I think he wanted to take a break and just kind of ground himself again. But no, he listens to his spirits, and he does an awesome job. I'm really proud of him. He does good.
There's been some people who's I'm sad to see they quit the paranormal. They were doing good, but it's just like they said they were not feeling the para unity as much because all the drama, all the hate they're getting. They're like, I feel the hate more than the para unity. So it's just like I've decided I don't want to do this anymore, and they just quit.
Yeah, and that's what I keep telling myself. Like, because there's been times like I just wanted to drop everything and just say, you know what, that's it. I'll just do my own thing. But what Spirit was always telling me is, if you can't love yourself and you can't be proud of yourself, then how can you love others? How can you be proud of others if you're not proud of what you are and who you are? This is your universe. You control it. You can choose who you want to let into it and let out of it. So the way I think.
It's, you gotta have thick skin sometimes to be in this work and working with others or being around others, because they don't think of 1 second to bring you down, and they'll say, I don't care, I'll make you quit, like, or I'll call you out, or I'll tell you what kind of a jackass you really are. I said, okay, you're the one who's a jackass, not me.
No, I invite skepticism. I'm very
Yeah.
good friends with a lot of skeptics, and
Yeah.
they always get me thinking, okay, maybe you're right, maybe I should try this, and so I'll try it, and I'll still get the same stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's try this, and
Yeah.
I like the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
the soldier in me, I guess.
It's not so much the skeptics. I think that they don't like that you can do things and they can't, so they get really jealous of you, right? And it kind of like pisses them off in the wrong time, or they rub you in the wrong way, and they said, hey, I'm not here, like, you can do whatever you want. I don't care, like, think whatever you want, think whatever you want to think, that doesn't bother me. Okay, see ya, bye.
No, I'll let them say their piece, and I'm like, and I'll either agree or disagree. Either way, it's not going to change my vibe, because it's not going to change what I do.
I'm not going anywhere, right? And I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to stick around. If you don't like it, that's fine too. I don't care. I'll still
I have no problem just letting you go, getting out of my life. You don't want to see my stuff, I'll just block you, and that's it. Bye.
Yeah. Like, be on your way, but I'll still be here. Like, no matter what you think, I'll still be around. So you can do whatever you want, right?
Exactly.
And it's sad because you have to do that, right? It's really sad because this I call it, well, this family, there's only this much, okay, and we have to be together in this, like, we have to be partners in this, but a lot of them will not want to be partners with you, right? So it's it's almost like okay, fine, like, but I'm here anyways, I'll still be here.
I'm not here for you, I'm here for me. This is my journey. I don't care what crap what you think.
It's almost like a soap opera, right? Over and over and over again, like, oh god, okay, it's a repeat.
I don't want to watch this one again.
No.
I always wish I started earlier, just to basically help my younger self, because like you, I could feel where one is, I can feel their emotions. And me being younger when I was a kid, that was terrifying, because I grew up as a Baptist minister's daughter. So to them, everything's a demon. Everything is there to trick you and to unalive you. And that was like basically the belief. So to me, anytime I felt something, I was scared, because I'm like, oh no. Obviously, when I separated from the church, I started actually getting more into it. I'm like, okay, not everything is a demon. Not everything wants to hurt me.
Well, heck, look at the 1800s in Salem. All the women that they killed because they, were talking to themselves at one point, and somebody caught them, or they were making some, soup, and they're like, oh, that's witchcraft, and then they, it's horrible the way that that people take that stuff so literally.
Well, what about the people who are thrown in insane asylums too, because they could see, they could feel, and they could see and they could feel things, but then back then you were called cuckoo or crazy.
You're still called that today.
And then they would hang you or burn you, just because you were experiencing things that nobody else was. It's like they were jealous.
It's just because you can't see, you can't see, you can't feel it, it's not there. It is there. And
the problem is, if you're not gifted a lot of people who are not gifted don't understand how to handle someone who is gifted.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We're all gifted. It's just developing your gift to where you can understand it, feel it, use it in the right way. Like I said, I didn't believe in spirit guides. I didn't believe in all that stuff 4 years ago. But look at me now, and I'm meditating, and I'm starting to open stuff up in my mind. It's because I'm believing and I'm listening, and I'm really focusing on what's in my mind and what I'm projecting into the universe.
Yeah. Because of what I do, because of what I can see, because of what I can feel, my children as well, all my kids are gifted. Um, they can't tell anybody in this country. You can't tell anybody, okay?
Yeah,
You'll
of course.
still be sent to the cuckoo ward if you do. It's just really difficult.
Yeah, Teresa still experiences it too. She
Yeah.
gets negative responses. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course.
Yeah. And I just read, I think last night I saw a publication, I think it was Fox News, that the Vatican is starting to open up and starting to say that, yeah, there are different realms and there are spirits and they do come and they do talk to people. And they said, okay, then what are they going to tell about people like us who are gifted and who can see spirits and who can feel them and who can talk to them? What are they going to tell us about them? What are they going to talk about us? Because we're part of also that we were given a gift, okay? And we're supposed to work with our gift, and we're supposed to be the special ones or the gifted ones, right? What are they going to talk about us? Because we have this too. And we are not, we could be religious in our own way, but I mean, what are they going to talk about us that we're not evil, we're not the devil, right? When are they going to leave us and give us some kind of credit because of that? Because
So, yeah, no, it's interesting you say that. Have you ever heard of Billy Carson? Do you know who Billy Carson is?
Mm-mm.
No.
He's a very influential TikToker that does a lot of research in the Anunnaki and the
Mm,
churches and stuff. And
yeah.
he was talking about how in the Vatican there's about a 2 mile library that's all the way in the bottom, and this
Mm-hmm.
is where they hide. They take pieces out of the Bible
Mm,
that talk about this stuff,
yeah.
and like he talked about from when Jesus was 12 to 30,
Yeah.
there's no story of him. And that's
Yeah.
because he went to Egypt, he went to Cairo, he went to all these places and was
They
Mm,
learning.
think he also came to Japan during that
yeah.
time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan and China. Yeah, he went to all those places.
Yeah.
I suggest you look him up. His videos are amazing, and his way of thinking is just really intense.
Yeah.
He tells it how it is. So.
It's just because I have a friend who's
Yeah.
also Catholic. Okay, I've been to church with him. Okay, and I told him what I do. He goes, "You can't be doing that." I said, "Why can't
Says
I?"
who?
Yeah, why can't I? I said, well, this is what I do. I call it my job. This is what I do. He goes, oh, and and you shouldn't, and you should, and I said, and he said, you should be going to church more. I said, if I get the
Why?
time, if I
Yeah,
got the time, okay, but I'm pretty
I know
busy.
where I'm going.
Yeah, I said, but I'm pretty busy, okay. And he goes,
Yeah.
but you can't be doing this. And there's only one time where I saw a cardinal look at me like this, and obviously he felt something that he saw in me, and he looked sideways, and he couldn't keep his eyes off me. And instead of going like this, he was looking like this. I said, I wonder why he's looking sideways, right? And
Hmm.
obviously he sees something that's a little bit different than me, and then and he could, and then all of a sudden he go, oh, okay, and he looked straight again after. But I think he recognized that there's something different about me, right? and it's just like, okay. And I told my husband, "Did you see that?" He goes, "Yeah, I did." He goes, "What's with it with him?" I said, "I don't know."
No, and that's the thing about religions is that everybody grows up in these different parts of the world, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all praying to the same God. You know, you
Yeah.
call him Allah, you call him Jesus, you call him Buddha, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the source. That's what I
Yeah.
call it. I call it source.
Yeah.
You know, and I just live in love and light. I'm going to be the
Mm-hmm.
most positive person I can. I'm
Yeah.
going to do whatever I can to help spirit, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be okay because I
Yeah.
know I am. I can feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to be good, and I'm not going to let that negativity,
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody challenges me saying, "Oh, you're doing devil's work," I'd be like, "Well, there is no devil."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Can you prove it?"
Going back to what Teresa said, yeah. So also growing up in the church, having a gift, people would assume that because you
Mm-hmm.
had a gift, you
Yeah.
were either doing witchcraft or
Yeah. Yeah.
summoning the devil or
Yeah.
somehow had an attachment or was possessed. You being a kid, it's terrifying to be like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Like that's why I wish, like you said, I wish I started younger. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I started in my 20s. I probably wouldn't have joined the military, um, but I'm glad I did,
Mm-hmm.
because I had experiences over there, and it brought me to my very bottom with my
Mm-hmm.
PTSD and the depression and stuff. When I got back, like I was crumbled. I was down at my very bottom, and I climbed my way back up. It took a long time, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, now I'm whole,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I would have ever been this whole had
Mm-hmm.
I not been at the very bottom. So.
I think I wish I could. I wish I started late too. I knew I always had it, but I didn't know how to use it right. So I think it took me to a different place to go. Okay, now what do I do right? It's just like, how do I begin my journey? Okay,
Yeah,
and then
I dove into it. I just went right into home investigations. I'm like, all right, I want to see what these people are dealing with. And
yeah.
I'll never forget my very first investigation. I got to their home,
Hmm.
and when we were outside, I was getting my bag out of the truck. I looked up at the house. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like it felt weird, like really scary. I was like, okay. And then they showed me the room I was sleeping in where all this stuff happens. I was like, okay. and and it had this weird kind of rotting meat smell, and it was only
Mm.
in that
Uh,
room, in this other room. And
Oh
what
God.
happened was I believed in myself, and I fought through it, and I ended up trapping this evil thing into a doll, and we got rid of the doll, and they haven't had any problems since. So yeah.
It's not just a house, it's a property where it sits on. It's everything,
Yeah.
the whole environment of the whole place. If it's creepy, it's creepy, right?
You know, well, they had a lot of trifectors there. They had the forest there. They had their own pond,
Mm.
and it was what is it, uh, double stage house. Like it didn't have a basement or anything.
Mm.
So it was on top of the ground. It wasn't buried in the ground. But and the son was kind of doing reading some dark materials and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. So she was having poltergeist experiences. Like she was in the closet, and the husband had antlers and stuff up in the closet, and she was in there hanging clothes, and all the antlers fell down at her, and she'd get pushed down and stuff. And
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah. It just, you know what you do and how you open up portals. If you don't put it back, and if you don't close them, you're gonna wind up with a whole bunch of trouble, right?
Nope. Second night there, I saw a full-bodied apparition, and I said nope, and I went right into my room and went to bed.
Yeah.
Like she was standing there like this, looking out the window, like she was all kind of twinkly and stuff. I was like, what the heck? And I went into the room, went to sleep. I was like, nope. And it ended up being her mom. Her mom was there helping. So yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, it was cool to be able to help them, and I was able to get her mom to, you know, move on, and she helped us trap that spirit. It was a team effort. Like it was my first case too. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming to that part, is there any place that you've been to that you don't want to go back?
No, I'll go anywhere. I'm a soldier. I'll go anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. So nothing really creeps you out, right?
No, I'm more afraid of people than I am spirits.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true
the
too.
whole meme of I'm more afraid of the living than I am the dead.
Yeah.
Like I'm more afraid to go to a Broncos game or like a Nuggets game because of the crowds than I am going to a haunted place. Like I'll walk into some abandoned house, no problem.
But I'm gonna tell you a little thing. My mother said, "Be afraid of the dead."
Yeah.
The living you can predict, the dead you can't predict, and they can come after you, even if you don't expect it, which is true.
The dead are dead. I talk to the spirit.
Yeah. But
I'm not afraid of spirit.
certain dead spirits are not willing to work with you. Okay, so yeah.
Well, I just put my bubble on. My guides know to protect me. I go in prepared. I do my grounding, and I'm good. I'm not afraid of anything.
Yeah. Wait until you get on this side of the globe. You'll see a lot of them.
No, I would love to. That's one of my bucket lists. I would love to go see Hiroshima and just feel the energy there. I would love to get to that side of the world. Yeah.
It's be prepared of the certain hotels that could be haunted. Like first I said, "What are you doing here?" Like, what? And she goes, "I just came to say hi." I go, "Yeah, hi, bye." Like
well, that's one of my things too. Like I want to try my spirit box in Japan or you know, a foreign country where English isn't the first language, and see if I can get English to come through, you know, my spirit box and stuff.
No, they are. The Japan spirits are bad here. It's totally on a different level.
And
well, one of the oldest countries too. It goes back to the samurai days, and you know, way before Christ and stuff. You got to think of all that energy that's there too.
Yeah. And you get crucifixions here too. They did crucify Christians on her side of the globe, right? On her side of the island. So it's pretty freaking haunted. Okay.
Yeah, I welcome it. I want to try it all. You know. Like I said, I believe in my guides. I believe in my love and light. And I'm good.
It's like the total different cup of tea when you come on this side. And there are places that you can go, and there are places that you shouldn't go, just because you want to come up tomorrow. You want to be alive tomorrow. Okay, you want to live for tomorrow. And where I lived in a haunted condo. Okay, it was 144 suites. They'd either kill you, or you wind up with no money, or you get divorced.
Wow.
Pick your poison, right?
Isn't that just divorce?
Yeah.
You lose everything anyways.
Yeah. But
you're like pretty much
it was pretty bad.
Pick divorce, it's all three anyway. So
But you pick your poison, right? My husband lost part of his money. We didn't get divorced, but we were fighting all the time, right? And I said, "Okay, this is unhealthy, right?" And my husband said, when my son wound up in the hospital, and the doctors couldn't figure out why he got so sick, he said, Mom said, "Okay, we gotta move." So we moved here. Okay, it's a lot. Where I live is a lot safer, and that's when I started to use my abilities more when we moved. Because when I was there at the other place, they were telling me, "You should go and kill yourself." I said, "Yeah, not doing that. Sorry, I'm not gonna give you the benefit of that one." Like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna listen to you guys. But yeah, it was pretty intense. I live 45 minutes from there by car. You can go there, but when I see it now, I just get physically sick because the energy in it just, yeah, it's not so good. And you got you got your really bad energy. You got your people who are trying to
Yeah.
unlive themselves there, and it's
And
just,
that's the thing. You control that. You
yeah,
this is your universe. You don't
yeah.
have to let that energy in. You just
No,
put your bubble on and just live that love and
but
light. I guarantee it's the most powerful thing, and
it's
you'll be the safest, and there's nothing that can harm you, you know?
but it's extremely strong, and it follows you wherever you go. And it did follow me here, and it tried to tell me, yeah, you can't talk about where you used to live. That's if you do, I'll come after you. I said, yeah, you can do that, but I'm alive and you're dead. You can't come after me. And then so it
Yeah.
finally left. But yeah, I just don't want to give it energy. Okay, I don't want
Exactly.
to talk. I
Yep.
don't want to talk about it. I don't want to give it energy, but I will talk about it because it's a conversation piece, right? But as far as
Cat
I'm not gonna
disagrees.
go back there. Oh
Meow.
wow! Oh God, second. What? Oh, stop
Yeah,
it!
Shannon had an attachment. She's told me that story. Yeah. She lost her leg because of it. Yeah. That's
There you go.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh, there. Okay, we're here. Okay, now you can see. Okay, now you can go to
He's
lie
like, I
down.
want to be part of the show.
No, no, he's always part of our show.
Yeah, there's the face of the camera. I told
Yeah.
Irene one of these days on a podcast I'm going to turn it into a drinking game where every time the cat sticks its face or body into the camera, you take a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said the
Just
Every
first
make
time.
a
time they
little
watched.
banner across the bottom. Every time you see the cat, you have to do a shot.
Someone said the first time they watched our podcast, the cat
Mm.
was on top of Irene's screens, like so they just saw black fuzz, and they were like, "Man, her camera is broken. How is she doing this podcast?" And then also they said the fuzz moved, and like, "Oh, it's probably the cat." They thought it
Probably.
was like her camera was broken because she's like trying to like do this half face, trying to be in it. You just see the black fuzz, and you're like, "Man, her camera is broken."
It's he also sees spirits too. So every time we
Yeah.
talk paranormal, he's right in there like a dirty shirt. And I said, "Okay, move." And if he doesn't like the energy of of the person that I'm talking about, he won't move. Like he'll stay there, and he'll block me from seeing anything. And I go, "Okay, you can't do this. Okay, you gotta move. Like move your butt."
Yeah, I
It's
brought my
you.
little dog on an investigation once to see what would happen. So
Hmm.
he had a good time.
Yeah,
I
I I believe pets do see things that we don't.
think they smell them, like because their sense of smell, like they
Hmm.
can smell them, like that.
Hmm.
Their senses are just more enhanced, you know.
Yeah. So I look at him if I see something, and they go, "Okay, you're seeing something. Okay, show me where it is." And he'll look at it. And he'll go like he's focused like this. I go, "Okay, yeah, well that thing is there. I get it. Okay, it's not gonna bother you. Yeah, you gotta go and lay down. And don't let it bother you. Ignore it."
Irene, I'm starting to turn into you more. Over the weekend,
Hmm.
I saw we were out to dinner for Mother's Day, and I saw in a
Hmm.
restaurant she kept materializing near near the table, but it was like she was still in front of like a wooden wall. I would
Mm-hmm.
see like in the corner of my eye, this
Mm-hmm.
person materialize. It was a young Japanese girl. She was either middle school or even maybe younger, high
Mm-hmm.
school age. She was wearing the Japanese schoolgirl outfit, but the coat was missing.
Mm.
She'd materialize in front of me, and I'd look over at her because she was looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, if someone looks at you, you know you know
Mm.
people look. When someone's looking, you just kind of look back. It's human
Mm-hmm.
instinct. So I kind of looked at her, and then she would just vanish, and she kept doing it a few times, like materialize and then vanish. But it was when a schoolgirl, we're in a schoolgirl outfit, but just the jacket was missing.
Mm.
Huh. Let's try to figure that out.
Yeah.
A lot of schoolgirls. It's more than now. They used to be ridiculed, or they used to be teased. So they'll unalive themselves, right? Because it happened to them. And they're caught. But it's a really sad situation. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
white shirt.
yeah, yeah. It's just, it happens. Okay. That's why a lot of Japanese schools are haunted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No, I can't wait. I keep developing this. I'm going to be able to see stuff. Like right now, all I can see are black orbs. Every now and then, I'll see black orbs coming across. So that's about all I can see. So you got to keep meditating.
yeah, like I could only hear things, but afterwards, later on, I got so good that I could see their faces, what they're wearing, and have a full blown conversation with them without
Right?
using any equipment. And it's just like, okay. And sometimes I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm busy." He goes, "Okay."
I'm working.
Yeah, I'm busy. Okay.
I'm
He
working.
goes, "Okay." And we're sitting on a bus, right? And this guy got into a car accident, and he died. And he came to me. I said, he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm busy." "Okay, what are you doing?" He goes, "I'll talk to you afterwards." And I was helping him so he'd find peace. And then after it's my kid, I want to talk to my children. They said, "You know what? It's the same street that the kids have to walk to go to school." And they said it was really creepy, that energy in that area. And I said, "Okay, how's it now?" And they said, "It's better now." And I said, "Okay, that's good." So yeah, he was haunting that one street. And there's a lot of cars in this area, okay? Because Tokyo's Tokyo, right? Um, it's just, it gets really busy, and the streets are really nasty sometimes. So yeah, they're narrow, and they drive like whatever. Like,
I think I just saw a post that you had the world's largest crosswalks there in
yeah,
Tokyo.
yeah. It's
Like
Shibuya.
200,000 people
It's
go
Shibuya
across.
crossing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have the guts, you could drive there.
Probably her, Shannon. I saw her. Probably her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, she's it's just one busy. You got to have a lot of guts to drive in Tokyo.
So you drive on the left side in that country or the right
Yeah,
side?
left
On the
side.
left side too.
You drive on the
I
left.
wouldn't even
But
drive. I wouldn't even chance it.
no, I cried the first few times I drove because you're not used to driving on the left in your brain.
Nope.
And we call it the American driving brain because your brain keeps telling you, go, you're on the wrong side, go to the right,
Yeah,
go to the right.
exactly.
And there's a few times who people who's been here for a while will even say like their brain like circuits or something where their brain freezes and it also they're driving on the
I
left
just
and then
don't know
all of
what
a
to
sudden
do.
they
Yeah.
get confused and their brain's like, wait, what's going on? Why are we here? Oh yeah, wait, you have to stay on the left. It's like, no, it happens.
Yeah,
Taxi.
and
Taxi
the steering wheel is on the other side too. You know.
is yeah. Nope.
So It's a little bit different, you know.
Taxi.
Sure, you can take a cab, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strange places in Tokyo. I haven't been there because I'm not going to go alone. And if my husband goes with me, yeah, he's useless. Okay, he can't help me. He's not grounded. So he can't help me. So I'm waiting for Amanda to move out in this area so we could go together. It's just
There you
Might
go.
be seeing them with you.
yeah, it's just really yeah. I'm sticking around. I'm alone,
How
and
far
then
apart do you live? Like how many hours drive or whatever would it be?
2 hours by airplane, two
Okay.
days by car.
Because,
Okay.
like you just point out to me, I'd have to drive into Tokyo. You're driving under the sea.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. All right.
because they have roads that go under the sea, and it takes a day
Yeah.
or two to get there. So you'll be there the next day. Yeah,
Okay.
and if you take a bullet train, you're there in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But it's
That was a good
easier if you
movie
take.
too. I like Bullet Train.
No, it's easier to. I like taking a plane is faster. Okay, you're there in a couple hours. Okay, you're up in the sky, you come down. Okay, you're there.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
you're there.
A flight to Vegas for me.
Yeah, it's a lot faster taking a plane. Like, you know, local planes go to from Tokyo to Fukuoka, and you can take the bullet train, or you can take a regular train or whatever you can, or drive there. You can rent a car and drive there. It's a lot faster. Yeah. Um. I take a plane instead. Thank you.
Yeah. Still the safest way to travel, I guess. So
Yeah. It's cheaper too taking a plane.
yeah,
Bullet
probably.
trains can run from um a couple hundred to $500 to go
Really?
to where she is. Yeah.
It's
Huh.
cheaper to take a plane than
Yeah.
a train,
Yeah.
which is funny, but it is.
Yeah. It
Planes,
is.
trains, and automobiles.
But it's getting there is not that bad by bullet train. It's just the local trains are slower than they are in Tokyo. Here they run, they go whoa. You gotta plant your legs on the floor because they go whoo, you go flying.
Guess how the spirits feel holding on.
Yeah, it's a little bit it's crazier living in this time. I'm so darn used to it, right? It's a little bit different. Even buses ride faster in this city. Like they're
Right?
really fast.
Jonathan, I think this
Well,
is
they
more
got a lot more
directly
stuff.
for you.
Yeah. Oh dear. Sorry, I'm picking up on a male father. Another figure sounds like in the bottom of the screen. Sorry, I don't know his name on the screen. You know what? Teresa. I'm thinking that they died in the atomic bomb. Then, okay, they didn't die from an accident, or she didn't unalive herself. I'm feeling that way. That she must have died in the atomic bomb, and it must have been a long time ago too. It must have been an old spirit. There's a lot of residual energy where she is then
I think
compared
it
to
because I
her.
said they're on the male on the bottom, so I think it's for Jonathan. Do you
Yeah,
not like oats? Did you have a black cat?
yeah.
Me?
Yeah, because it says I'm picking up a father grandfather figure around the male at the bottom of the screen, so I think it's more.
Do you like oats? I ate oatmeal like a couple times as a kid. I didn't crave them. Um, a black cat. I had a gray cat growing up, but no black cat. But like I said, this is where I do all my sessions.
Yeah.
So spirits will stay here until next Tuesday when I help them move on and stuff. I'm not
They're waiting their turn.
like I welcome them. Like that's why I have this couch over here. They can sit down, whatever, chill. You know, they come every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I always get a different number of spirits that I help pass on. So, but I do live in the country, so where I live, you know, it was very old Western type.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if it's a local spirit that
Mm.
needs help moving on. So
Yeah.
because we grow wheat and corn, so oats. More than likely, it's probably a local
Mhm.
spirit that's
Mhm.
waiting to move on Tuesday. So, but I have a black cat now. I don't. She's upstairs somewhere with a Nigerian taxi driver. They have 12.
My Hmm?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I would let it go. I said let it go, dude. I
Yeah.
mean,
Move on.
so
Would you
here's the
want
thing.
her back with 12 kids, though?
No, here's the thing. You got to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned, and that's what happened with my wife.
Yeah.
We separated, and she came back, and we're still married. We're 17 years in June. So, you know, you got to let it go to be free. And if it comes back, then it's meant to be. You know,
Yeah.
just live your life. Focus on
Yeah.
you, and you do you. And if she comes back, then it's meant to be.
And
I'm watching
sometimes
your
you have to
dogs.
heal. You have
Watching
to
your dogs in
heal.
the background.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my wife just got home, so my little
Oh,
dog
I
ran.
wondered. I saw. You just see the black one's face pop in,
Yeah,
and then that
see
one
there.
running. Yeah.
There's the little
Oh,
one.
go.
That's Scout.
There we go. That's so
You
cute.
want to be famous?
Oh dear.
Like, no,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
lay down.
people need time to heal. I mean, sometimes if you don't heal, you'll be in trouble in your head, and that's a problem. Like what you do, what you create in your head,
Yeah,
and
no, and that's what I learned. You got to love yourself. This
yeah,
is the one that you have to love before all.
yeah.
You know, you got to learn to trust yourself, love yourself before you can give that to others. So,
And
and
if you
that's
have
what helped me
conflict,
overcome a lot.
it does create something in your home.
Mm-hmm.
We could call it poltergeist. Okay, it does create something in your home. It will create whatever, and you will be able to see certain things that don't belong in your house. So you have to be at peace with yourself. You have to be at peace with the people that you live with, and you can't keep on. Well, we could call it fighting or anything else like that, because it will create what you do, what you create. Okay, and it will create things in your home that you don't want them. That's for sure. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, one of my favorite sayings from a
Yeah.
cartoon. He said that uh, we can't see the future, we can't
Mm-hmm.
change the past.
No.
Live right now. That's why
Yeah.
they call it the present, because every
Yeah.
day is a gift.
Yeah.
Just live like that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you, because you're not going to be able to change it or predict
No.
it.
No.
Just live right now.
Yeah. And you know, be happy, and love yourself. That's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Shannon.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just that's a hard part of being a person or being a human being, because you have all this stuff that you have to deal with. It just it's hard. Sometimes it is hard.
And that's where manifesting comes in. You know, if you focus on stuff, and you can bring whatever you want into your
Yeah.
life if you
Yeah.
focus hard enough and pray on it.
Yeah.
You can manifest stuff. Like
Yeah.
like when you need it the most. It's just
Yeah.
you can't lose control of this and your heart. You got to keep these in line.
Yeah. That's for sure. And it the thing is that if being an investigator myself, doing residentials, I like to know: are you going to be truthful? Are you going to tell me exactly what happened? Or are you going to tell me exactly what you've been doing in your home?
No, and you got to look at their psychological aspects. How
Yeah.
are they acting around,
Yeah.
the kids and stuff? Because if they're living in an angry world, that's a whole different vibration and stuff. And I've debunked so many things that they were claiming, just by walking around and hearing
Mhm.
squeaks and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's not till I turn on my spirit box that I really find out what's going on.
Or
You
what
know,
they've
but,
been doing in your home, or what they've
yeah,
been doing in their home, right? And you
yeah,
say, okay, like I had a friend who was also my other partner, and she said, "You've been playing with a Ouija board, haven't you? What did you do with it?" And they said, "We burnt it." I said, "That's not true. You didn't burn it. That's a lie. You know what you did." Eventually, I couldn't help them because they created something huge and it wouldn't leave, and so yeah, their house burned down by their
oh,
own hands, I think.
I
But
tell people compare it to like you
yeah,
see a doctor. The
yeah,
doctor cannot fully help you if you're not completely honest with them. Same
yeah,
thing with the paranormal investigator.
yeah,
Help us know what we're dealing with, what we're looking into compared to, oh, I don't know, it just showed up and like she
yeah.
said, you
They
had a
said,
Ouija
"Oh
board.
yeah," but you gotta. They don't understand that stuff doesn't just show up, right?
yeah, it's been
There's
there.
gotta be,
It's studying. It's
yeah,
learning. Yeah,
yeah. It's gotta be manifested in a certain way where where you open the door for it to show up, right? If
with anger, fighting,
Yeah,
that negativity
yeah.
tends to trigger a lot of that too. Yeah,
And if you don't open the door, they're not gonna come in. Like once you give permission, they say, "Okay, let's have a party." Like that's what they act like, right? And they'll bring their friends or they'll bring their buddies, and we're all gonna have fun in your house. So you go, "Yeah, you can't do that." Okay, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Oh, I didn't know that we couldn't do this. Yeah, you can't do that. Sorry, this is your house. It belongs to you. You own it. You control what's in your house. If you don't
yeah,
want them there, you tell them to go. And you have the authority in your home. But yeah, it's a whole new ball game with people. I think it's like education 101.
right.
You know, I think I learned a lot being in this field, and
No, I
yeah,
agree with that.
yeah, it's just yeah, like
The thing I think about Ouija boards is it's just the older version of the spirit box. It's just everything's getting spelled out. It's a little
yeah,
more personal with spirit, but I think they get pissed because they have to sit there and spell every word out. So that's why I think there's so much anger and stuff attached to them. Is it takes
but
too long to get the
That drives
message?
me me. Like, God,
Yeah, come on, just use the spirit box.
you see, the spirit box is a little bit different, okay? Because spirit box, you can tell what's coming out. A Ouija board, you can open up portals that you shouldn't, and it depends on your intentions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I was gonna
intentions. That's
say.
all it is. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think if you're gonna open up that portal, you better learn to put them back. You better learn how to close it too when in the other bit. And it, people can use them. People do use them. People who are very knowledgeable of what they're doing. Yeah, but people who are just like the regular Joe Blow, I don't think you should be using one. Right?
heck, my case that I did in Kansas, he
Mm-hmm.
had had a Ouija board in his garage that was nailed to the wall with the planchette still on it.
Oh God!
And he's wondering why his tools were catching on fire. I was like, well, let's try this first.
Yeah, get rid of that one first. Remove that.
We took that down, and they hadn't had any problems since. So,
what do you think about the toys that are coming out for kids that buy this Ouija board?
That's one way to learn, I guess.
They're coming out with cuter ones now, like kitty cat ones.
Yeah, the little Fisher Price one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get it for my kid.
Nope, neither would I. My kids saw, they go, would you believe it? This is for sale for people to buy. Yeah, it just creates more work for us, That's all.
It's too much for kids. Yeah, it's and kids are already sensitive enough as it is. They're more susceptible to spirit than we are, you know.
Yeah.
That's why people say if your kid has an imaginary friend, maybe it actually doesn't.
Yeah.
What did Virgil say? I ordered a spirit box from Amazon. Jeff Bezos rang me back and said, if you bother me, I'll have you whacked. Any thoughts? I bought mine on Amazon. I haven't got Jeff Bezos through, so I think you'll be all right, dude. I think it's a evil spirit just messing with you.
Yeah. Because the thing is that not all spirits are truthful. They can say whatever they want to you.
They know more than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's what people say, be careful because they know more than you. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, but my family member is the only one who knew this. Like, trust me, they know more than you guys. So
they can see right through you too. They can tell
well, they're on a different dimensional plane. They're in a 4D, 5D dimension, and we're in a 3D. We can't see them. They can see us, and they can go through different time. There's no time where they are, so they can go at any point, any place.
Yeah, and they can pick your head too. They can pick your brains. And
down at the molecular structure. Yeah, they can find everything.
Yeah.
Some religions believe it's 8 years old.
Because they lose their 3 eye by 11. Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Some religions believe it's age 8. So I guess it depends on your religion.
Yeah.
Well, I look at my daughter. Hey, Chris. I look at my daughter. She's 11 right now, and I've noticed a change in kind of her demeanor and stuff. So yeah, I would say 11 is probably right.
Yeah. It's funny, listening to that, and I said, okay, my kids are all the same. We all see creepy things. Think, okay, they haven't changed yet. And I
wish, man. I wish I would have started way younger, man. I wonder where I'd be at right now if I started way younger.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. I wish I started earlier too, but I think I always had it. But I think I didn't use it. That's all.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to use it. It's just a little bit different.
You know what the funny thing now, thinking about it, is I remember going to baseball games with my dad, and I remember telling him one day when we were driving home, I'm like, Dad, why can I feel like people's emotions? Like I can feel them, like and he's like, I don't know. I was like, okay, so I didn't think about it. But, now looking back, I was an empath back then, and I just didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
That's like empath.
They didn't talk about that stuff in the 80s,
Yeah. Nope.
That's like empath would rather stay inside because you can feel emotions from everyone, and it gets overwhelming, and you're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
If you don't understand, it's hard to explain because they're just like, okay, you're just being weird. And it's like, no, this is overwhelming. I gotta go home. I can't go over there. That's even more overwhelming. I gotta leave.
Yeah.
No, there were times I was like, why is this guy mad at me? My dad would be like, he doesn't know you. I'm like, well, this guy's pissed off.
Yeah.
He's like, how do you know that? He's like, and I didn't think anything of it. You know? But looking back now, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's true. I think one of the weirdest feelings I ever had once, I usually go and get my lungs checked out, and I had to get this I had to get this lung test done. You have to go in the basement. The basement has the cancer treatment patients. They're out. The out. The clinic for them. It's the most hardest place I've ever walked through. I mean, I got freaked out. I went for my test and I ran back upstairs. I said, not going to go there anymore. I think the energy from that area, I knew I was being watched. The outpatient area was just a little bit creepy, and it was in the basement of the hospital. I said, yeah, I don't like this place. And I ran in, did my test, ran back upstairs, and I said to my husband, I'm not going back there anymore. He goes, what happened? I said, yeah, I'm not going to tell you. You won't believe me. And he goes, was it that bad? It was really bad. I I think there's a lot of the energy, the spirits were there, and they were just looking at me, and I could feel it. And I said, and it was so heavy. It creeped me out. It creeped me out, and that's why I don't like going.
If you ever want to see the stuff I went through on Iraq, I actually went on a show. It's called Mission Unexplained, season 1, episode 3, and I'm in the middle of the episode. And yeah, I would get these premonitions and voices, like they were my guys were helping me through that. It was crazy. It was. I didn't even want to go on that show until I knew about spirit guides and stuff. So that was in 2021, I want to say.
They don't have basements in our homes.
In Iraq, no, there's no basements in Iraq.
No, there's no basements in Japan either. I think mostly because, well, where I live, they don't have them because we get a lot of earthquakes in Tokyo. Okay,
I was going to say earthquakes and tsunamis are not good for basements. Yeah.
No, I'm in Earthquake Alley. Okay, like we were on a podcast. I go, are you okay? I go, and I said, I think I'm gonna go. And she goes, okay, we'll end the show. And it was like all afternoon I was going like this. I go, okay, this is making me ill. Okay, I don't feel so good.
Keep telling the Godfather here that him and I need
Corleone.
Yeah.
I was like, we'd make a good team because I'm also Italian, and people always thought my family wasn't a mafia. They were just New York Italian.
Yeah.
So anytime they would come to visit, people would think my mafia family came to visit. So that's why we always had a joke with that, and I'll joke like, yeah, my family in mafia.
Maybe that's why the spirits are, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Tokyo is one of the most haunted. Where she is haunted, but it's really bad here. You can go outside anywhere.
I'm just saying, like those are China and Japan are the oldest parts of the world. You know, like
you don't have to pay.
History.
You don't have to pay to go see anything haunted. For her, she doesn't have to pay either. He said, okay, I'll give you a haunted tour. Just go outside my front door. There you go.
Yeah. Then the most haunted place is Okinawa.
Yeah.
But as I try to tell people, Okinawa is basically the U.S. Hawaii to the U.S., where it's just an island off the mainland, and they have their own different culture and food. It's like it's part of Japan, but it's different. Same thing with like Hawaii. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah. they have another island where my daughter went for a vacation. It's called Ogasawara Island, and they're still picking up the bones off the shoreline, off the sand. And I bet you, I haven't been there. My daughter's been there. I bet you that's pretty haunted too. Like,
I bet. Yeah.
you can't go, you can't get there only by boat, and it takes a day and a half. It takes one day, so you'll be there tomorrow.
Well,
Right?
even what happened more recently with that tsunami that destroyed that nuclear reactor in that whole town.
Yeah. Fukushima. Yeah.
Yeah, Fukushima. Yeah.
And there was not just a nuclear reactor, but there was a place on the other side of where are we talking? We're talking about
the bones on the
Yokohama and places like that. They had a Costco store in that area. Okay, the people who are in the parking lot, it went like that, and the cars got with the people inside of it. And I tell you, that was people sitting, the people who used to work in there. I'm not gonna go back to that store, because if I
I'd be the manager. I'd be the overnight security there.
that place is probably haunted. I'm not
I
gonna.
would be playing music and be dancing with them at night, seeing all the stuff flying everywhere.
I've seen videos like that where the security guards quit because of that. You'd be there vibing with them. You'd see things thrown around. You're just out there dancing.
I'd be like, yeah, let's do this. Crazy evidence on their cameras.
Yeah, but that happened in that earthquake, and like there's a lot of structural disaster on this side. It was pretty bad, and they have one more, Japan seaside, where Amanda is. It's called Niigata. They had the tsunami there, right?
Yeah.
The houses got leveled near the ocean, and that changed the seaside area. It changed the the waterfront.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said that'd be one interesting place to do an investigation. Like, it's not too far away from where I live. I can be there in a couple hours, right? And Japan seaside in that area. They don't have soil; they have sand. So the houses are built on sand, and the older houses that got flattened by the tsunami. So, I mean, that'd be one interesting place to visit. We usually go on that side to go swimming in that area too. So that'd be
Louisiana is crazy haunted too.
Yeah.
They're at 1 foot at sea level.
Yeah, it's below sea level too. Can you download that?
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'll send it to her. Let me.
Yeah. It's just, there's a lot of places, and plus we just don't get that. We get a lot of UFO activity too after an earthquake.
Oh yeah,
especially a major one. Yeah, they're at they're floating around at our nuclear energy sites, right? They're there too, and they don't leave, right? So we get a lot
about it. Even going back to the World War II, like we were talking about before, with the atomic bombs that were dropped there. You know, the guy I was telling you about, Billy Carson, he talks about how the aliens saw that we were able to split the atom and make these weapons of mass destruction, and that's why they started showing up more and more after World War II, after we dropped those bombs. They want to make sure we don't destroy ourselves and the rest of the universe.
So. It's like when people when the local people, they said, we don't look at the ground, we look at the sky now, like and we look at what's in the sky now. There's a lot of crazy UFO enthusiasts, right? And I belong to one of the most biggest UFO enthusiast group. And I decided it's only Japanese only, but you don't have to say anything. You just have to say hi to them. and they welcome you in the group, and I welcomed a whole bunch of my friends too in the group, and they said, "Oh, do I have to say anything?" No, you don't have to say anything. You just have to join
Just wait.
it. Yeah, yeah, and he has a lot of pictures, especially around Mount Fuji. There's a
Oh,
lot
really?
of UFO activity down there.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like,
I'm
and
sure. Yeah.
yeah, and
Isn't Mount Fuji still an active volcano as well?
it is. It's active. And there are scientists who climbed the volcano who have died climbing the
Yeah.
volcano and studying the magma underground, under the earth, and they have died climbing it and going up or going down. So it is one of the haunted places, right?
Yeah,
And
of course. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
the energy from the earth being there, and
yeah.
all the deaths that have happened there, it's
Oh yeah.
kind of a trifecta,
Yeah, like it has its own portal, right? So it is.
Probably.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of the beautiful places to visit. But I noticed it because going towards Mount Fuji, it's like I live here, Mount Fuji's over here, like, and when you go through the mountains, you got all these haunted places going towards that area, and you wonder why, right? Because there's the little towns and little cities that you go through, and there's temples that appease the cat god or the monkey god, but and then there's a whole bunch of haunted areas going there, right? You not only have the suicide forest in Mount Fuji, but you also have a suicide waterfall in that area, right?
Oh, okay.
Marie,
Yeah.
can you see this? Hold on.
Wait.
I'll just show up that well.
Turned
Yeah.
into a ghost.
No, sorry, the background, but I'm like, oh, it's too big.
Can't see it.
It turned into a ghost.
Oh, it's gonna bite your neck, dear.
Because it wasn't wanting to upload anything else, and I'm like, okay.
It's chewing on your neck, like it looks like it's a vampire.
Looks like it's biting your shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, chomp, chomp, chomp. But yeah, the suicide waterfall was from the people who decided to die because Japan lost the war. So they climb the waterfall and they jump into the waterfall.
Yeah.
And
water is a conduit. Like I was telling you, that's how I meditate, and that's how I've been, developing my skills is through being submerged in water and listening to these frequencies. And I can only imagine, taking your life at a waterfall or in a river, that your spirit is going to be with that river. You can flow wherever you want,
And it's funny because if you look at it through a picture, you can't see. If you look at it when you're going there, you can look at this bridge that they have that you can walk across the bridge. If you walk across the bridge, you stand in the middle, you can see the waterfall. You can't see too much. It's really residual, so you have to take a still picture, and you blow it up on your phone or whatever you have on your camera. Then you can see a lot. You can see the people walking up and jumping, and it's the most creepiest thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Use a Polaroid camera.
Yeah, it's a different feeling. You can't really use cat balls. You can't really use anything there because it's just so noisy. The atmosphere is so noisy. But I mean, you can talk to them, right? Because they will talk back to you if you really want to. And it's just the most noisiest place you've been. What? It's the most
She's
noisiest
experimenting.
place.
Yeah, I was experimenting, but I went over everyone's face. Like, I'll do it later.
It's the most busiest
don't
place.
hit overlay.
It's the most
Oh,
busiest
you don't want to
place.
see John? Okay.
Okay, we'll do that way. Yeah, it's there's a lot of crazy places like that here.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest countries on the earth. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Manchester. All right,
Thank
but
you. Um, um, you know, I want to take Amanda to these different places, but she's got to move here.
it's only a
We're
We
waiting.
two-hour
have
flight. Come on.
waterfall we want to go to because we know
Yeah,
I'm going to get something different than she does just because the suicide waterfall is where once Japan lost the war to America, a lot of
Yeah,
people committed suicide off of it because they weren't happy about it.
yeah.
So I'm
So
like, I know I would get something different than you would.
yeah, it's just a different atmosphere, and on the way to that area, there's a lot of shogun samurai warriors who unalive themselves, right? And their head is buried.
oh, yeah. I mean,
Their
think about
head,
all the
yeah,
deaths during that times. Yeah,
yeah. That's why certain land is haunted here, and you get samurai warriors going in and out of certain walls and apartments because eh, they build on these places and where they shouldn't be building. But you see, people cannot keep the land because the taxes on the country have gone up so bad. Like like they have to sell it to land developers, right? And then
yeah.
create expensive housing or expensive apartments, but they're so friggin' haunted. Like they're saying, I don't want to go home. Like people are saying, I don't want to go home, right?
Right.
And it's pretty bad. But you see, if you want to find out what happened, you can't find out like Amanda and I will tell you. There's no history books, or there's there's nothing you can't find because they don't. It's if it's something that bad happened, they'd rather chuck it instead
Yeah,
of letting
like
people
hide it,
know.
not talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So finding out something what happened on some kind of land, you know, you're better off asking an old people in the area because they'll tell
Yeah.
you. But yeah, but
Or
there's
even
no.
the library. Nobody goes to the libraries anymore and looks at the
Yeah.
government documents there. So,
Oh, they don't have anything like that here either.
oh, okay.
No. So yeah, it's pretty bad when you want to find something, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a bad thing that happened. I mean, I could
Yeah.
only imagine, that first 2 years after it happened, like how crazy country must have been.
Yeah, it is. It's really like when you want to buy a place to live, you better have a medium next to you because
Yeah.
Yeah, but unless they know you, no one is going to admit in this country that they are medium or clairvoyant
yeah,
or anything like that.
yeah, because you need one.
I tell people basically Japanese way of dealing with the paranormal is they could see a ghost right in front of them and they'll just act like they don't see it.
Yeah,
What? I don't see it. What?
Yeah, they're like, nope.
yeah,
Right there. It's picking your nose.
right
It's
there. You know, it's in front of your face like that. You know, but they don't want. Young people are really. They're more analytical here. Okay, they use their brains more. So if it's not if they can't see it, if they can't feel it, if they can't touch it, they don't believe you. And it's really hard because not everything is gonna stick up in front of you and say, "Hi, I'm a
yeah,
ghost.
right.
I'm good. I'm gonna say hello to you." Like, no, it
It's
doesn't work
not.
like that.
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
Casper.
No, it doesn't work like that. Oh gosh. And you're trying to explain it to them, and they don't believe you unless they can really see it for themselves, right? Yeah. So I usually go to the older people and they have stories like you wouldn't believe, until they'll tell you all kinds of things. But younger people nowadays, yeah, unless you have, unless you have, um, unless you have, uh, unless you're an empath, they don't believe you. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, there's
because
Faye.
my kids see a lot, but they can't tell anybody either, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
They think
it's
there's
like,
still some radiation here from the
yeah,
bomb, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
that's what we
know
were talking about earlier. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
if you look it up online, it says it's no longer
yeah,
radioactive, but then people are like, no,
Yeah.
there's still
Right.
some there.
yeah. That's why they were saying that um Godzilla could have existed
No,
because,
exactly.
yeah,
I mean, dinosaurs. We got the dinosaur bones
yeah,
popping up everywhere.
yeah.
What's to say
So
he didn't?
yeah,
Yeah.
because of what happened a long time ago, and because of the magma under the earth, because there's a live volcano there, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of live volcanoes. There's a whole bunch where Amanda lives too. They are live volcanoes. That's why we have a lot of hot springs too, because
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
one huge volcano living here, right? So yeah, there is a lot of crazy things that happen here, and it does exist. And who's to say it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
We
It
have
just
two Loch Ness monsters,
Mm-hmm.
one in the very bottom of the country and one in the very top.
Mm-hmm.
They both look similar but different color and size.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they actually named it off of the Loch Ness monster because over there
Mm-hmm.
it's Nessie, so over here it's Issy and Nissy is what they
Mm-hmm.
call them.
Yeah.
yeah. No, and as an investigator, unless I'm there experiencing it or
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
there, seeing this as
Yeah.
it's happening,
Yeah.
I'll be skeptical unless it was live, if it was a
Mm-hmm.
live broadcast,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's timestamped, so I can see if editing was done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I think. So.
Yeah. We have our own Bermuda Triangle too, off
Hmm.
in the Pacific Ocean, and there's a lot of fishing vessels that come up empty,
Yeah, they just
and
vanish.
they're saying it's really weird because the police gets involved, right? The locals call the police gets involved, and the police are looking at, and the vessels are empty and the ships are still usable, right? But there's nobody in the ship anymore. And they're wondering what the heck happened. So they're all a whole bunch off the Pacific. They're all embarked all over the place on the beach. It's just really weird. And they're trying to find out, like Japan will try to find out whatever happened. Like they'll do it to the day that they'll fall flat on the ground, right? That's the way that happens in this country, right? And yeah, there's no answer to that, right? What happened? So they don't know what happened.
Yeah, ladies, I think I have to run.
Okay.
I'm hearing the wife upstairs, so
Okay.
Possible
um,
aliens here.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's aliens. Personally,
Okay.
the only
Yeah.
way they would go missing,
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
unless they went for a swim.
Yeah. I don't think you go to the swim in the Pacific. You got lots of
Oh, I
sharks here.
don't either.
We got a lot of sharks in this. We got a lot of tiger sharks here. Not doing that. So Amanda, he's got to
Yep.
go. So if you can end the show.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.